We'll give it a moment, and then we'll start. Okay. Let's see here. Get my notes up. All right. Welcome to the 5th episode of the Daily Gear Games devlog. As we discussed last time, we're making a twin-stick shooter of the likes of Smash TV and Xeno Crisis. Gear Games is a development company located in the greater Tampa Bay area. So, today we're going to go over a few improvements made to the game since yesterday, some design mock-ups, and then just a short demo of where the game's at, kind of like we usually do. So, just to give a quick recap of yesterday. Yesterday we talked about the pixel perfect camera setup. We did a presentation on screen resolution, as well as a demo showing improvements to the shooting animation of the main character in the game. So today we'll start with the design mock-ups. So these design mock-ups, they allow us to reason through how things may work without having to invest a lot of time into coding. Believe it or not, coding takes longer than making a simple design graphic. And so you can make a design graphic, kind of think about it a little more, make it more real. And then when you go to mock it up in the code, it's a lot easier. So it's like a tool to save us time. And then when you have these design documents, you can start playing with them and mix and match elements, and then that'll lead to creating the next big thing. All right. Let's get that to stop. We're going to make this full screen. There we go. It's as full as it'll get. So, here I have kind of a simple mock-up of what was mentioned yesterday, which was a shield gun. And so this gun would put up a shield in front of you that causes damage to enemies. I thought that'd be great. You just shred through a bunch of bad guys, and it takes you like 2 seconds and you're done, and you just run through these guys. Something like this, you just run through them, and then they all die. And that's great. That seems like a lot of fun. I could imagine that making a lot of sense when you have speed power-ups and things like that. Then I thought, okay, what about the bad things? I thought maybe the monsters that explode, when you run into them, they just blow up, cause damage. That could be an element that make you have to think a little bit more about how to kill them. But it also makes me think, why don't we have two types? We have the guys who explode on death, and then guys who, when they are given enough time, they explode and cause damage. So if you kill them first, they don't explode on death. Whereas the other ones, you shoot them and they die, they explode on death. So there's some bad guys which this gun will be effective on, and then other bad guys it won't. So the ones that it won't be are the ones that blow up when you hit them or kill them. Okay. So that's the first one. That's the shield gun, and I plan on developing that tomorrow. I plan on developing it tomorrow. I think I'll get more of it done tomorrow. All right. So now that you have explosions, you can also have other things like crates that break apart when you shoot them and reveal a lot of loot. We've got a mouse, bunny rabbit. It's probably a little hard to see the mouse right now, so there we go. Got a mouse, bunny rabbit, some cash, some coins, a little lizard. Now these are things you're going to want to collect. Um, I don't really think the creatures are going to give you much spending power, but maybe you want to keep them. So you can blow up environmental objects, and then those objects can become resources or just fun things to collect. Um, some people they want to play the game one way versus the other, so it could be that if you shoot one of these things, they might die, and then you don't get them, or that's what you want to do. And both routes could be recorded. Um, but yeah, so it's going to be that sort of thing. Um, I definitely would want to add some little things like that to the game. Things that don't really affect the main game, but they're there, like critters. All right, so this is a pretty good one. This is very common. So usually when something is red, it means it's gonna blow up when you hit it. And so in this case, we're making some maybe canisters, crates that are destructible, and they blow up and they kill things when they blow up. And so here you shoot the crate, blows up, kills all these guys, and now they're dead. So that's kind of the route we're going to go with some of these things for now. I think that this stuff's going to be fun. I think that the way that we're setting up the game, it's more of a swarming game, so you're going to be in situations where your last chance to make it is one of these things, these environmental hazards. So that's the element there. So if we go through it real quick again, the shield gun, you can just rush through a bunch of bad guys, it'll kill them. But the problem is that if you get shot from the back, so you get somebody shoots a laser at you from over here, you're going to take damage. If they shoot from up here, you'll take damage. If something is too big, it will just either your shield will break, or their shield will break, you'll get hit by them. And then the other scenario is they will die, but they will explode. So you have to pick things that are more soft targets. You can't just take the shield gun and run into a brick wall and think that you're going to go right through the wall and destroy it. That's just not how this is going to work. We need to think a little bit about this. So I was thinking that the shield gun would work in the manner that you would press the keys. So you have your keys. You have your up key, down, left, right. And if you're using the up key, the shield will actually face up. Your character can move to the right, but the shield will be facing up. Okay, so what does that add for elements? Well, one, you could run through the bad guys. But also you can have projectiles shot at you. I shown you earlier that, if a laser came in from here and got you, it would cause you damage. What I didn't reveal or say out loud was, shields here don't. They get deflected. So they can shoot bullets at you, and they will get deflected away. I guess in this case, it probably bounced like that. Anything that deflects off of your shield causes damage to them now. So before it hit your shield, it would damage you. Once it hits the shield, it's flipped. Now it can damage the enemies. So now your shield's even more powerful. So there could be cases where you're running around and you put up the shield and it bounces it back and you kill a bunch of enemies, or you run through the enemies and it kills them, giving you more and more options. Okay. So that's kind of the stuff I've been theorizing with this so far and how it works. So the shield doesn't last forever. The shield is going to last until you run out of energy. And just like with all the weapons in the game, you're given a certain amount of shots before they disappear. The shield is the same way. You press it once and it stays up for a little bit. So you hold the button down and it just keeps going. So we'll have to toy with how many to get a good feel for how it should work. Um, and if the shield is low on energy and something hits it that would be considered overwhelming for that power level of the shield will break. Okay. Here are the crates. So I said, they got environmental things that you can destroy. Well, before I went through this briefly and just said, oh yeah, you shoot it, and after a little bit it blows up or breaks apart or whatever. So now there's ideas of things that don't break with regular shots. So you have to use one of your power-up weapons. So you have to actually use some ammo from your power-up to break a strong box. Strong boxes will have more power-ups. And then there'll be a level above that where you can't break it without having some sort of special device or a key of sorts. And those will have things that are really special in them. All right. So these do chain. If you blow up one and it blows up another and blows up, it'll just keep going. So if we had a crate, let's say we had a bad guy over here who blows up. The crate would blow up that bad guy. Bad guy would blow up, and if he blows up something else, it would cause a chain reaction. So it can go from one box to the next, to the next, to the next. So they just keep on going. One to the next, to the next. So that would look something like this one triggers that one, triggers that one, triggers something there. So you could have chain reactions. All right. So then, say you kill something, and every once in a while, I don't know if you've played Smash TV, or not Smash TV, Super Smash Brothers. Sometimes when you defeat one of your guys, one of the enemies, he'll come flying up to the front of the screen, and he'll be really enlarged, and he'll hit the screen, and then he'll fall back down. So sometimes the bad guys, when you kill them, they're not just going to have their death animation show, and then they are gone. Sometimes you're going to hit them, and boom, they go up in the air. Think Grand Theft Auto 2, when you kill some guys, they go poof, and then they come back to the ground. These guys might shoot up into the air and then hit something else, cause damage to that. So then you can have a chain reaction where somebody gets blown up by this, shots up in the air, hits another crate, and then chains those crates. And it could go on for a bit. And I want to have some situations where that's just all over the place and very unpredictable and very neat to watch. All right. That's that. What will picking up rabbits and mice do? A question from the chat. So, picking up rabbits and mice. It's a mixed kind of bag here. You could pick them up, you could kill them, you could leave them alone. They could be a tool later in the game. They could be something that you just throw out there and it gets you access to other areas. It's still very much something I'm designing right now. But I thought they would be cool to add as more of an environmental thing. I mean, think about it. You're in a science facility. What do they experiment on? Rabbits, mice. Yep. And then there's this little lizard thing here. So there's going to be some environmental things. And yeah, mutant mice and rabbits. So yeah, we'll see. I'm sure that will be... I'm sure. I know. We're probably going to have some weird mutants in this game for the mere fact that this experimentation's happening. But if you do remember, there is an element of aliens or extraterrestrial things that exist in this game that are being experimented on. So these could be the food for those experiments. These could be the front for the experiments. So you've got your level 1, level 2, level 3 security. And as you get further into those security levels, yeah, you're going to see more weird things. Well, up front, we don't want people seeing that we're experimenting on aliens. No, we want them to see that we're working on lab mice. And so that's where the mutants will come. All right. Little three design cards. These are fun to do, and I'll probably do some more. Okay. So, let's do a quick demo of some of the stuff that I was bringing up yesterday and a little bit more. I talked about how I was going to fix up the trim around the levels, and I was also going to add some death animations. So I did both of those things. What I did not finish was the shield gun. I figured it'd be better to give it more time and think more about how it would work. And also gave me opportunity to make a design slideshow presentation for it. Okay. So here we are. Now, just gotta let the music play, you know. All right, here we go. Okay. So, as you notice now, when I shoot these guys, there's a trail that's left behind them when they die. And the way I was thinking about doing this, so right now it just kind of looks like maybe a little bit of blood, or it's maybe an explosion or something. The decal that comes off when they die. So it's slightly informed by the direction in which you hit them. So if I hit them from the right, they'll move to the right. Sorry, if I hit them from the left, they'll move to the right. If I hit them from the right, the explosion will move to the left. If I hit from top, it does a little bit of going down. Yeah, so we got 2 mice on the screen. Someone just noticed. So we got this big fat one. It's a rat. I called it a rat. It's a rat. The one down here is a mouse. And you cannot kill it. Alright. So, something to say about these death animations is that they're going to get better and better and better. But not just they're going to get better, it's that they're going to be informed by the type of weapon you're using. For example, you've got this flamethrower weapon here. And the idea is, when they die, it should look like they've caught on fire and they're being immolated. When they get shot, of course, it's kind of like a blood death. Anything that's explosive, they need to have an explosive death. Boom, look at that. That looks so nice. And so each weapon's going to have a different sort of death animation that it'll send to the enemy. So some enemies will be purely robotic, so they won't have like a blood death. Instead, when they get killed, they might explode, or they'll sizzle out like their electronics are failing. I don't know, it's just visually pleasing, I look forward to when I have even more things on the screen, more guns. There's something appealing about this. All right, that was good. I'm gonna keep adding more to the background, more little things to it. I'm thinking about adding a lot more detail to this ground here, as well as hazards. So for example, this thing right here, I could put like a boulder there or a desk or something that the character would have to jump over, but he can't walk over. So you have to like press a button like shift or something to roll over it. I think in the desktop, like not using a controller, you'd have to press like space or something to roll over it. And that would be good to get like here and get past some enemies. I'm also thinking that you have your environmental things that you can kind of blow up. As well as just could have pits, right? So some monsters, when you shoot them, like they might move back a little bit because they're taking, they got impact momentum on them, and that might push them into a hole or something. But to stay on theme, I would say we'd have beakers, chairs, computers, tables, lab equipment that you probably could shoot a lot, but it's not just gonna explode right away. These windows, I like the idea of having windows here, and also like if you shoot the window, so instead of the bullet stopping at the bottom here, I could have it go up and hit that window and make a crack noise or something. I could have it to where you break something in the environment and one of these mice things come out and move into like the next trash can or something. I think that's always fun. Just showing that they do prefer coming to you than running away from you. And sometimes they'll do a random movement. I'm gonna add a retry button that you can just press escape and do that, so I can show off this stuff more quickly. Yeah, I really think I could put a lot of things on this screen at once, and I think with basic equipment you should be able to kill all of them. I don't think you should start out with this movement speed, so you can't outrun them to begin with. I think the swarming idea is going to work. I'm thinking that I have to figure out a way to cap how many points you can earn in a room, and how to get through a room quickly, or quicker than the normal. So say a room would take 30 seconds to a minute to get through, and say that room has some objectives. Well, you could make it to where they have to kill all the bad guys, or you can make the bad guys worth less and less points until they're worth nothing. So you could have a constant stream of guys coming from this left side here, and they keep coming, and you go in there, you kill them, you keep killing them, and then nothing happens. But on the other side, you have some stuff coming out, and you have objectives on the level. You get the objectives done, you beat the level, you move on, but you can't just ignore the bad guys. And so I was thinking a combination of timed levels, objective based levels, and kill all the enemy levels. to keep having it switch up. So each room could have its own objective. You could actually have some scenario where you need to collect a bunch of lab rats or something, and so then you have to destroy the environment or the the environmental like hazard things or the decorations, and then there's like a rat underneath the box or something like that. All right. So that's today. What I was thinking of doing is tomorrow doing a stream of the initial stage in Xeno Crisis. I'm pretty good at it. I've beaten it in 11 seconds, but recorded it was 17 seconds. So at the time when I was showing off, I could beat the first level in like record-breaking time. Or I was a world record holder, but then they changed the way the rules work, and you actually have to like beat a lot more. So I wasn't gonna do that. It's just I don't have that time investment for gaming. So I'll just show you the first boss, which is really easy for me to get to. It turns out my save file doesn't let me jump around. I maybe forgot how to access that menu. All right. But I'm also going to do a devlog tomorrow, so it'll show how much progress we've made. So that'll be fun. So what's next up on the backlog? We're going to add the shield gun. We're going to add exploding objects to level as well as obstacles and destructible obstacles. And so the idea is that I don't want every level to be an open movement pattern. I want there to be hazards and things that get in your way. So then you have to avoid things. You have to move around more, and I want to add that element to the game. All right. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. And this is Gare Games signing off, and you have a great afternoon. I'll see you tomorrow.